So this is my dad's ST1300, and as you can see on the front here, it got into a fight with a deer and very much didn't win. So everything's beat up, and I think even with this cosmetic stuff, it could still run. So that's what we're gonna try and do today. We're gonna get it running again. What we think happened is the tip over sensor is tripped, so it doesn't want to start up. As I'll show here, it'll crank over, but it won't even try to start, so. It's just given nothing on the engine. We're gonna try and see if we can get to that sensor and untrip it and then see if it'll start up. And if not that, then we'll keep doing some more diagnosis and see if we can get it started. So according to ChatGPT, tip over sensor is down under this here, and I can see the harness, so that's a pretty good sign. But at the same time, ChatGPT can just say whatever it wants, whether or not it's true. Oh, I think that's it right there. One of these is definitely a tip over sensor, so we'll look at those. Because it said it's a rectangular, that's a fuse box, that's another fuse box.
Might be one of those. Those might also be
The fact that there's 4 of them,
flasher relays or
and there's
something.
a lot of.
Yeah, we'll just have to look at it.
So back behind there's more. So ChatGPT failed me once again, and turns out the tip over sensor, like other Hondas, is right near the headlights in the fairing area. So we're gonna get in there, and as we're going through, we're seeing what all got broken in the crash. So get the turn signal mirror cover off, and just still working on getting inside of this headlight front fairing. So off comes that bottom there.
Tight one.
Seriously. Surprisingly tight for what it is. There it goes. Bring over here my very own Milwaukee tool set and the stubby. By tool set, I mean socket set.
Too easy.
Seriously. After using those manual Allen driver things, it's really nice being able to use a power tool again. That's just a plastic rivet, it feels like, right?
It's one of those that pops out. Just pull it out.
Probably one of my least favorite fasteners of all time is these plastic rivets, because either they don't work well or they break. There's no in between. On my Buick, pretty much every single rivet on the passenger side wheel well is just broken, so have to zip tie the whole thing. So, moral of the story is I don't like plastic rivets. Get this entire fairing off, and now, hopefully, right in here, we'll have the tip over sensor. We can get that back to running state. So, obviously, as you can see, this fairing is destroyed. The whole logo's gone. Everything's broken. All the mounts are just absolutely destroyed. Split right down the middle. All that to say, probably not gonna be putting it back on, or any fairing. Just gonna leave it running. Riding, I should say, without the fairings. So I'm working on getting this off the rest of the way. Like I said, that's definitely not gonna be going back on the bike. So, yet another plastic rivet. It's a different kind. It's one of those push in, pull out. Unless it's a, well, complaining for no reason, because it's a Phillips. So, my finger eyes can deceive me sometimes. I guess the next step is to take a look at this headlight mounting brackets, and obviously the most important piece, the tip over sensor mounting brackets, and see if we can get those back on there actually good, so it doesn't just rattle off while it's going down the road. So to get this tip over sensor remounted, it goes, show you right here, it just slips in right there, and then should have a mount there, but as you can see right there, and on the edges of this, it's broken. So I'm just gonna drill 2 holes down into here, and it's open on the bottom, and then run a zip tie around. So it'll be just as effective, just in a different way. So we got those 2 drilled, and now get the zip ties and fasten it on there. And we do wanna make sure that this is very well fastened, or else the bike may just turn off as it's going down the road, which obviously wouldn't be very good. So we did a little brainstorming on how we're gonna mount up this headlight again. I think we're gonna use this primary mounting point because it's there, and we're gonna just do 2 holes up here and then run the zip tie through this mounting point and then back out. And it's not gonna be too pretty, but it'll work. It'll hold the headlight. And then over on this side, we are going to drill a hole right there and then just use this hole, making sure we don't go into the actual headlight so water doesn't get in there. And then we can put another one up here down into the top of this. And then we're gonna have to do some more thinking on the other side, because that was the side that hit the ground really hard and everything's bent up and not where it should be. So it's gonna be a little bit harder to mount it over there. So before we tackle the headlights, we're gonna make sure the bike even starts in the first place. Here, I'll keep it upright and you give it a shot.
Here goes.
Okay.
Oh, it's going.
Well, that's the most it's ever engaged. So as you saw before, we could get it to crank over, but it wasn't starting. So we're gonna try starting fluid because that's what it's made for. And now that the gas tank, actually we didn't even have to move the gas tank, but we found the air intake, hopefully. So we're gonna squirt some starting fluid in there and see if we can get it to start up.
Got it.
Wow, I haven't heard this thing run in so long.
Go again. No more spray for now. That's a good feeling.
Finally! That is a great feeling. We got the bike running and now we're trying to get these fans. They have dirt all over inside of them. So we're hoping we can get them to turn on and kick the dirt out of there. So we're just gonna sit there and wait for these to come on. Been going for a while and they still haven't turned on. We just need to wait for it to get a little hotter up into the, above the half line so that we can get it to have to kick on the fans. Oh, there it goes. The fans just turned on and it looks like everything's fine with them. Let me go check the other side. They're going just fine and they're not even that bent. And it's turned off again. But at least we know that the fans do work. So now that we know that the bike runs and the fans work on the radiator, we're gonna get this headlight mounted. But now we're smelling hot coolant. So in a later video, we may have to diagnose where that is burning and try to fix that coolant leak. So getting the bike back together and then we're gonna try and figure out that headlight problem. And when I say headlight problem, trying to get them mounted while keeping the tip over sensor in the correct orientation. So now we're gonna do one more hole straight up from that right about there and send it. And I understand this won't be pretty at all, but gotta get the headlight mounted and this is probably the strongest mounting we're gonna get because this stuff isn't gonna actually hold it that strong. But this has enough structure that we should be able to get that properly mounted. So I'll go grab some zip ties and get this thing mounted up. Got some long zip ties. See what we can do here. I can't really see what I'm doing here. I'm just going by feel.
I can see what you're doing.
Oh, lucky you. I believe it's ready to go. There we go.
Pull
So
with your left hand. It's hard to do holding this.
getting it mounted where it needs to be. And this right here is the zip tie. Gonna go down there and hopefully hold this thing up. Get inside there, see what's going on.
I can see it.
Oh, did I get it?
That's a good starting point anyway.
Try pushing it up as far as you can, then I'll give it another good pull.
Or at least in the middle.
That's as much as I'm gonna get so far. About ready to go together good enough. And then after that, this thing's ready for a test ride. First time riding it in how many months would you say?
Probably almost 6.
Yeah.
It was Labor Day weekend. How many that is.
Boom. Grab the needle nose and pull that tight. Well, as you can see right here, if this wasn't broken, this is where it would be anyway. So I think that's pretty well in the right area. Yes. Second, I'll go. Look good enough?
That's right where we want it actually. It's lighting up the road in front without being...
Other than not having the fairings on, it's actually, you don't even need the fairings on to get it on the road. So I think it literally is get the seat on and take it out for a test drive. I'm just really scared to drop it.
Don't drop it.
I won't, but there we go. I'm handling it like a dirt bike. I shouldn't be.
That probably weighs almost 4 times what your dirt bike does.
So, anyways, we got it hopefully running well and legal enough to take it for a test drive. So,
You stop there. I want to leave it.
God, it's heavy.
Don't want to leave it aiming downhill.
Yeah.
There's a side stand.
Yes. So, make sure it starts up again. I think it's time for a test ride.
This is very
twisted. Let's take a look at that.
See like this? It's like this. But whatever.
Well, as long as the forks aren't bent, you can still take it for a ride.
That's what I want to determine here, is if it rides nice before I start buying any parts. But here we go.
How's it rolling so far?
Right now I'm just trying to make sure I don't hit the cars. on, man. It actually rides just fine.
Well, there you
Looks
go.
like hell, but
The forks don't feel bent or anything.
it rides great. Surprisingly good.
So to take a bike that wasn't running for like 6 months after getting in a crash and then see it running again and the headlights working, mounted correctly, all that is, well, not mounted correctly per se, but mounted enough. So to get all that done in just a couple hours is super awesome, as it was sitting just haunting us. But of course the cosmetics are not beautiful like the headlights, for example, but I think that is a good day's work. So see you guys next week with another video just like this one.